Yeah, so we are a bit late today because there was some technical issue earlier. I couldn't connect, couldn't even get the system running. Okay, fortunately we are up. Hopefully it will be stable. Okay, so the last part of the instruction in the section of clear comprehension, the Buddha says, Gati tite nisine sutte jagarite bhasite tunhi bhave sampajana kari hoti. So a little bit long. So this means in walking, in standing, in sitting down, in falling asleep, in waking up, in speaking and in keeping silence, one applies clear comprehension or practices clear comprehension. Okay, you have to excuse me for a while again. My PC go blank out again. I have to restart it. Okay. Can you all see here? Okay. Okay, so here in this section also again you find walking, standing, sitting, so the postures again. Okay? So previously also we found this instruction on contemplating the four postures. Right? So what is the difference? Okay? So according to the commentaries, so when the Buddha gave the instruction on the four postures, Iriyapata Pabba, under the section of the four postures, in going, while going one knows I'm going, while standing he knows I'm standing, and so on. Okay? So that, according to the commentary, it refers to contemplation of postures of long duration. Okay? So, like when, for example, you're walking on a long journey. So in the Buddha's time, people, when they go on journey, they don't have cars, right? They walk, right? Like, for example, here, if I want to go to KL, I have to walk. So it may take me months to walk. So that is posture of long duration. Or even walking meditation. Because you walk for 1 hour continuously. So how long would you walk in 1 hour of walking meditation? How far? 100 meters? Less than that? You must go really slow. So probably, I don't know, 500 meters? Maybe, So postures of long duration. Okay? So because you walk for 1 hour, so it's quite a distance. Even sitting meditation also, you hold a posture for 1 hour. Some people more, right? 1 hour, an hour plus. So depending on how far you have practiced, how far you have gone in your practice. Okay. So of course, sometimes you are also instructed to sit longer. So for yogis whose concentration slow to develop, they may be instructed to sit longer. So sit for a long duration. So the instruction Buddha gave under the section of contemplation of the four postures, this pertains to posture of long duration. And then at the beginning of this section of clear comprehension. And the Buddha says, Abhikante, Patikante, Alokite, Vilokite, Saminjite, Pasarite. In going forward and in returning, in looking straight ahead, in looking sideways, in bending and in stretching. So according to the commentary, this here refers to posture of middling duration. Okay? So that means not too long, not too short. So like when you're a monk going for alms round, okay? So not on a journey, but just an alms round. Go to the village and then come back. Okay? So when you hold the posture for such a duration, not too long, not too short. So this comes under this instruction, going forward, returning, and so on. But in this last instruction, when Buddha says in going, in standing, sitting, falling asleep, and so on, this refers to postures of short duration. Okay? So like when you're going from one place to another within, let's say, within the meditation center. Like when you walk from that building to this building and back. So only a short duration. You go walk from your hall, meditation hall to the dining hall, or your meditation hall to the toilet. So this short duration. Okay? So it comes under here. So basically what it is saying is that regardless of the duration of the posture, you have to be mindful. You have to note. Okay. So here also there's the four kinds of clear comprehension applies. Okay? So Sattaka Sampajanya, Sappaya Sampajanya, clear comprehension of the purpose, the benefit, and suitability. Okay? So you consider carefully, consider clearly. What is the purpose? Or is there a need to walk, to go, to stand, to sit down, to lie down, to sleep, and so on? So you have to consider. Now here, in this sutta, in this section, in this instruction, sutte means not just lying down. Okay? In previous instruction, it says lying down. In lying down, you know I'm lying down. Right? So here, sutte is not just lying down, but what it means is to fall asleep. Okay? So you consider what is the purpose? What's the benefit? Is there a need to sleep? So what's the purpose of sleeping? So purpose of sleeping is not to indulge in sleeping. So what's the purpose of sleeping? Purpose is to rest the body, to rest the mind. Give the body and mind a rest. Because if the body and mind is too tired, right, exhausted, you cannot meditate effectively. Right? So no matter how, if your body or mind is tired, no matter how hard you try to note, so the noting is not going to be effective. So because the problem is not with the noting. The problem is that the body and mind is tired. So therefore, we need sleep. When the body is tired, when the mind is tired, you need to let it rest. So you cannot overstress body and mind. Okay? Yeah. Also, it is said that when we go to sleep, the body works to clear away all the toxic waste material that's accumulated in our brain. So throughout the day, our brain is working very, very hard. Our brain is actually a very active organ. So active that it is said that it consumes, I think, 20% of all the energy that you consume. So you do a lot of work, and because of all this work, it produces a lot of toxic waste material. Okay? So during sleep, the body clears away this toxic material. Okay? So, but if you don't allow the body to have enough rest, to sleep, the body will not be able to carry out this function. And then all this toxic material will accumulate in the brain. And it is said that it may lead to diseases such as dementia, Alzheimer, and so on later on. So there are purpose why we sleep, why we allow the body to sleep. Okay? So even the Buddha also sleep, although he doesn't sleep so much. Even though the Buddha means the awakened one, but still he sleeps. So we have to also to consider, is it suitable? The suitability. So at night, when lights out in a meditation center, of course, that is suitable time to sleep. Okay? So, but some yogis, even though 10 o'clock comes, still the mind is very energetic, right? So that even though you lie down, also you cannot sleep, right? So then might as well carry on meditating. Either carry on meditating in a sleeping posture near to your bed, or even on your bed, or just lie down and meditate. So you can meditate, continuously meditate, not rising, falling, or not the lying posture, or not the touch sensation. So continue noting, meditate until the body is tired enough, or the mind is tired enough. Then naturally you fall asleep. Okay? You cannot force the mind to sleep when it's not ready. So might as well carry on meditating. The more you force, sometimes you cannot sleep is because you are too eager to sleep. You are afraid next morning not enough rest. Then the anxiety arises. So, and that have the reverse effect from what you want. So you might as well meditate, calm the mind down. When the mind is calm and is tired, body is tired, naturally you fall asleep. Now, if you are meditating correctly throughout the day, exerting a balance, persistent but balanced energy, to note continuously. You do so, you keep your mind pure all the time. You prevent the unwholesome defilements from arising. So then you find that because you are noting continuously with persistent energy, the energy develops. But at the same time, you also conserve your energy. Because you keep the mind pure through noting. What is it that saps the mental energy? and also the bodily energy. It's the defilements. Defilements arise, it consume a lot of energy. So, defilements is like those apps on your phone that you did not install. It runs in the background, you do not know it's there, and then it saps away all your battery energy. You must kill all these apps, right? So in the same way, you must have this, in a phone you usually have some app running, checking for all these apps. Runaway app that's running, and then they kill it. They stop this app from running. Okay? So you must install some program inside your mind. Why is this program? It's Satipatthana. It prevents this virus of the defilements from arising, secretly sapping away all your energy. So when it prevents the defilements from arising, then your energy is conserved. Even as you're developing more energy through noting, you're conserving the energy. Okay? Do not waste it unnecessarily. Yeah. So if this is the case, then you're fine. You meditate in this way, you're fine. That you do not need much sleep. You only need enough sleep to rest the body. So just like the Buddha. Why is it the Buddha only need like about an hour or so sleep every night? Because he doesn't waste his energy. Whereas Buddha's mind is completely pure. There's no defilements at all. So he conserves a lot of energy. So you don't need so much sleep. Yogis who meditate, who have developed this practice to a certain extent, keeping the mind balanced, exerting persistent but balanced effort continuously throughout the day, also find that the energy is continuously developing. Balanced energy is continuously developing. At the same time, you do not waste energy unnecessarily. And so the energy is conserved. So at the end of the day, you find you don't need so much sleep. You find you're energetic. Okay? That's why in the sutta, Buddha said, yogi sleeps only in the middle watch of the night, only about 4 hours. You really meditate, really that is enough. Okay? Now, of course, nowadays we start with 6 hours for yogis. But even then also, as you develop your practice, slowly you find you need less than that. Okay? You may even come up to 4 hours. Okay? But of course, you must make sure you have enough rest also. Okay? So it's only when you exert your mind in an imbalanced way, too much effort, you keep forcing the mind. At the end of the day, the mind is exhausted. So at the end of the day, the mind has too much energy that is imbalanced. So you find you cannot easily fall asleep. So in this case, this yogi needs to learn to note continuously with a balanced effort throughout the day. That's why balancing of the energy with concentration is a skill that every yogi must learn. So, but what about daytime? If you feel tired in daytime, so should you go and sleep? Is it suitable? Daytime. Usually we say it's not suitable. Especially if you're just a little bit tired. So then you can make use of noting or walking meditation, or injecting more energy into the noting in order to overcome this sleepiness. Okay? So you have to consider in this way purpose, suitability. In talking also, Buddha says in speaking he applies clear comprehension. So you consider what is the purpose of speaking? Why do you talk? Many people talk because they enjoy talking. So they cannot do without talking. Sometimes some people talk so much that the people around them tell him, if you don't talk, we will not say that you are dumb. So what is the purpose of talking? The purpose of talking is not to indulge in talking. It's to convey a message. Right? Something you want to tell another person. You want to make them understand what you're thinking or what you want and so on. So it's communicating something. That's why you speak. Speaking is a means of communication. So, but for yogis, it must be suitable speech. You must consider the suitability of the speech. So for yogis, a suitable speech means it must be a message, conveying a message concerning the Dhamma, like when you are reporting your practice during the interview, okay, or when you need to say something about something that has direct impact on your practice. For example, in a meditation center, so let's say what? Let's say no water. You want to shower, no water. Then you have to report, right? Because this affect you. It will affect your practice. Right? You don't shower, your body feel uncomfortable. It will affect your practice. It will affect everybody every yogi in the center. Then somebody needs to go and report to Sister Sam. Right? So at that time, then you need to speak. Okay? So it's suitable to speak. Okay? But you must speak to the right person. Right? So don't speak to, if the water, there's no water, don't speak to me. I'm not the right person. Speak to Sister Sam. So that means not suitable to speak to the wrong person. Must speak to the right person. Sometimes, especially Malaysian, they like to speak to a middleman. They cannot speak directly. So speak to the right person, then you get things done faster. You speak to middleman, the middleman speak to another middleman. So many layers. And then when we convey from one person to another, your message get distorted. So better go directly to the right person. And then when you speak also, just speak briefly, enough to get the message through. So if there's no water, then just tell Sister Sam, no water. Upstairs, no water. Finish. Let Sister Sam go and handle. Don't go and talk. Malaysia panjang lebar. So then you go back to your meditation. The yogis should not speak unnecessarily. So even when you meet, when you are not on retreat, when you meet other people, you meet your friends, you have small talk, right? So yogis, no small talk. So yeah, when you are not on a retreat, when you group together, friends group together with other friends, if everybody keep silent, there's an awkward silence, right? If somebody will feel a need to start speaking, to break the awkward silence. But for yogis, that should not be the case. It is proper to have silence, noble silence. That means everybody meditating. Let's say during lunchtime, the bell has rung, so all you gather in the dining hall waiting for us to come in. So while gathering there, don't start talking. Everybody gather there, meditate while you are waiting. If you are standing, not standing, standing. If you are sitting, you cannot sitting, or rising, falling. So that's how yogi. That's what the yogi should do when they congregate together. Okay? Not talking. So this is called noble silence. So most of the time, yogis should keep noble silence. So as we explained before, noble silence doesn't mean just keep quiet. So a dog also can keep quiet, right? But in the mind, a lot of delusion, right? So that is not noble silence. Noble silence means you keep silent, but your mind is pure, your mind is clear. That means there's mindfulness and clear comprehension. So that means you keep silent with noting, with satipatthana. That is noble silence. Meditation is noble silence. You make your mind silent, and the mind is pure, the mind is clear. That's noble silence. So at all times, when it's not necessary to speak, yogi should maintain noble silence. And during interview, of course, it's suitable to speak, to report clearly your practice. Okay? Yeah, so you must speak in a suitable manner, speak clearly. So the purpose of reporting an interview is to convey clearly the state of your practice at the current moment to your teacher. Okay? So to do so, you need to report clearly, systematically. So no point coming in interview and then you mumble. Some yogis come in, I don't know what they are talking about, mumbling here, mumbling there. So report clearly and report systematically. Don't jump here, jump there, mix up all your practice. Sometimes some yogis, I don't know whether they are reporting sitting or walking or daily activities. They jump about one to another. Sometimes I thought they are still reporting about sitting, and then it turns out when I listen, they're reporting daily activity. So don't jump about. So be clear what you are reporting. Speak clearly. Express your experience in a direct, simple manner, using everyday language. So you do not need to be very eloquent in order to report your practice. Just use everyday, normal language as you are speaking to a friend. So don't use any Dhamma language. So use very simple language to report what you experience directly. Okay? Don't make things complicated. Okay? Report things in a very simple manner. Vipassana experiences are very simple experience. So don't complicate things by putting it into a lot of models and concepts. Especially don't bring in all this Abhidhamma concept. Right? So Abhidhamma can be very helpful to understand your experience. But when you report, don't do that. You must be directly from your experience. Okay? So you have to report in a very simple manner. Don't make things complicated. Some yogis, they take 5 minutes to describe a particular experience, whereas some other yogis reporting the very same experience take less than 1 minute. Why? Because their mind is simple, not complicated. So the other yogi go in very long-winded circle, take you on a detour here and there before they come to the point. But you summarize their entire reporting, it boils down to what the other yogi report in less than 1 minute. So don't make things complicated. Simplify. So otherwise you also waste time during an interview. Okay, so you need to consider purpose, suitability. Okay? And to not continuously, when walking, when standing, sitting, falling asleep, and so on. So this is called gochara sampajana, keeping within the domain, clear comprehension domain, keeping within domain of satipatthana. Example, when you're falling asleep. So when you're lying down on the bed, so you're not lying, or you're not rising, falling. So you continuously not. Okay. Then when sleepiness arises, you're not sleepy. When the mind becomes drowsy, you're not drowsy. When it becomes heavy, you're not heavy. You become down, you're not down. So you're not continuously. Not till at some point the mind will just go blank, and then you don't know anymore. So that's called falling asleep with mindfulness. So it is only possible with gochara sampajanya. You not continuously keep within the domain of noting or satipatthana. So when waking up also, wake up with mindfulness. Buddha says, jagarite sampajana karihoti, in waking up. You apply clear comprehension. So this means wake up with mindfulness. It means be aware, the very first state of awareness when you wake up. At that time, if you know, then you will know, is the mind energetic, is it alert, is it satisfied, or is it groggy, dull, lazy, reluctant to get up. So if you are mindful on the first moment you wake up, you'll be aware of this state of mind. Then from then, you note the intention to open the eyes, opening, and so on. So this is called waking up with mindfulness. You are aware from the very first moment you wake up, even before the eyes open, you are aware of the state of mind. And this may not be easy at first. So at first you may not be able. You try, but you may not be able to note the very first moment. So then you start noting as soon as you remember to be mindful upon waking up. Okay? So you must make a determination, an adhitthana, before you go to sleep at night. I will fall asleep now with mindfulness, and then when I wake up, I will wake up with mindfulness. Okay? And most likely, if you fall asleep with mindfulness, then you will also wake up with mindfulness because of the momentum of the mindful noting. So you note continuously. When you're lying down there, you note moment after moment, you note continuously until the moment you fall asleep. So when you fall asleep, you are asleep, nothing you can do. Okay? But there's a momentum in that noting such that the moment you wake up, the momentum re-establish. And then the very first moment you wake up, mindfulness will be there. Okay? So to do this, you need to make a determination. Okay? So first few days you may not be able to wake up with mindfulness. Okay? But you try after a few days, after you've developed enough sufficient momentum in your noting, after a few days you find you will be able to wake up with mindfulness. The moment you wake up, you're aware already, the state of mind that is present. So in talking also, you can note intention. So not continuously in talking. This is a bit difficult for most people. Because talking is the one time where you usually lose your mindfulness. So a yogi come in for report, interview. When they come in, so mindful, they walk in, so mindful, they do their bowing, so mindful, they sit down. But then the moment they start talking, all the mindfulness disappear. So the mind, you can tell from the way they talk, the mindfulness has disappeared. Because the mind starts to become excited. So in talking also, you must apply clear comprehension, not continuously. So not the intention. Can you all hear? Can hear? Cannot?
Can understand.
Soft. Yeah? Can hear? Maybe you can come closer. So you know the intention to talk. And try to turn up the volume. Turn up the volume a bit. It's raining over here. In Zoom, you all can hear? Okay. What about now? Clear? Better? Okay. Can hear? Is it better? If not, you keep shifting your position until you can hear. So in talking, you have to note intention arise, you want to talk, not the intention, not the thought that's forming the speech. So you're very clear in your noting, you can discern the thought. Behind the speech there is a thought, the thought that forms the speech. You can note that thought also. So when the thought arises, intention arises, then you can feel the wind element starts to arise, spread somewhere here in the throat. And you feel start to become a bit firm, and then it starts to vibrate, and then the sound come up. So you can note continuously in this way. So in keeping silent also, you can note. You note your intention to stop talking, As soon as the intention arises, stop. Then the wind element cease, disappear, and then the sound also disappear. So you can note. So noting continuous in this way is gochara sampajana. Clear comprehension of domain. Then the last one is asamoha sampajanya, clear comprehension of non-delusion. So this means the yogi note continuously. So as the mind becomes clearer and clearer, then the yogi realizes that, in truth, there's no person here. No person here who is walking or standing, sitting, no person who is falling asleep or waking up, no person who is speaking or keeping silent. So rather there is just a mental physical process going on. As a series of intention giving rise to a series of the nature of wind element which causes movement one after another. So realizing in this way is seeing things as they really are. So this clear comprehension of non-delusion. You see clearly. You do not fall under delusion that there is a person. You see clearly according to reality that there is just a mental physical process going on. So in the commentary, they also say the yogi realizes that when he's walking and then after that he stops and stands. And so he realizes that all the nama rupa, all the mental physical phenomena that occurs while he was walking ceases to exist, ceases right there during the walking. So when he's standing, they no longer exist. So those mental physical phenomena during walking do not carry over to standing. So when the yogi is standing, he realizes that this is a new series of mental physical phenomena arises. Then from standing, as he begins to sit down, he also realizes those mental physical phenomena that occur while standing also disappear while he's standing. Do not carry over to sitting down. So in sitting down, there's a fresh group of mental physical phenomena occur. So similarly, those from mental physical phenomena from sitting do not carry over to lying down, and that from lying down do not carry over to waking up and so on. So he realizes that whatever mental physical phenomena arises, they disappear right there. They do not carry forward to the next activity. So noting like this also, realizing in this way is also called clear comprehension of non-delusion. So this is actually just another way to say that it is impermanent. There's no person here. There's impermanent suffering and non-self. So this is the section on clear comprehension. So the commentary mentioned that although there are 4 kinds of clear comprehension, this sataka, sapaya, the clear comprehension of purpose, benefit, the clear comprehension of suitability, on domain, and non-delusion. But according to the commentary, among these 4 kinds of clear comprehension, in the Satipatthana Sutta, there is the last one, the clear comprehension and non-delusion, and that is the most important. Okay? So the practice of Satipatthana emphasizes on asamoha sampajana, clear comprehension, on non-delusion. That means it emphasizes on the development of insight, insight knowledge. So clear comprehension, non-delusion is basically insight. Okay? So practice of Satipatthana emphasizes on the development of insight. So it's not just an exercise to develop concentration, but primarily is to develop insight. So that should be a priority for yogi when you develop Satipatthana. Okay? So, but of course, clear comprehension or non-delusion will not arise without clear comprehension or domain. Without noting continuously, it will not arise. Right? So therefore, this gochara sampajanya, clear comprehension or domain, is also important for yogi. Okay. Okay. And then to wrap up this section on clear comprehension, again the Buddha repeated the refrain or the development of insight. Okay? Say iti ajatam wa kaya kaya nupasi viharati, and so on. So thus the yogi dwells contemplating the body, in the body, internally, externally, and both internally and externally. So we have already explained this before. Okay? So this internally means in your own person, within your own experience. Okay? So so you have apply clear comprehension within your own experience internally. So, and then externally means apply to other people's experience by means of inference. Okay? So that means first you must contemplate internally. Okay? So you realize internally there's just in walking, in standing, and so on, there is just nama rupa, process of nama rupa. Just intention and the wind element and so on. And they are arising and disappearing moment by moment. They are impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Okay, so you realize this internally in your own experience. And then occasionally you may think of others. When you see others, then you realize, so for them also it would be the same. When they walk, when they sit, when they lie down, and so on, also it's the same. They are walking, they are standing, and so on also consists of just mental physical process. There's no person, no being here. Okay? So you apply the same insight internally, and you apply it externally by inference. Okay? So that's called contemplating externally. And then sometimes yogi go back and forth between internal and external. Okay? So that's called contemplating internally and externally. Okay? So not at the same time, but at different times. Sometimes you contemplate internally, then switch to external, then switch back to internal. Okay? Yeah, but of course, as we said, because inference is a kind of thinking. Okay? So therefore, it is not encouraged to overdo it. Okay? The lower stages of insight, it occurs spontaneously. Okay? So intuitively, when the yogi have developed insight internally, when he look at other person, intuitively, he also knows, for them it's also the same. Okay? But this intuitive thought is a kind of, is a thought, is a thinking. Okay? So therefore, when they arise also, the yogi should note thinking. Okay? And encourage more of internal noting. Okay? Because it is by noting internally, continuously, that you mature the insight. So otherwise, you keep getting stuck there at thinking. Okay. And then samudaya dhammanupasiva kayasmi viharati, and so on. So he dwells contemplating the factor of arising in the body and the factor of dissolution in the body. So, so you realize, not the cause. Why is there the stretching? Why is there bending? Because there's intention to stretch, because there's intention to bend. So therefore the wind element arise, causing the movement of stretching and bending. So when the intention disappear, the movement also disappear. So that's called contemplating, a factor of arising, factor of disappearing. Okay? Another meaning also, nature of arising, nature of disappearing. This is Mahasi Sayadaw's interpretation. So when a yogi notes intention arises, it disappears. He notes the movement arises, it disappears. That's noting the nature of arising, nature of disappearing. Okay, so they note both nature of arising, nature of disappearing. So as I explained last time, this is the key to developing insight into nature of impermanent suffering and non-self. So it is by noting the arising and disappearing of nama rupa continuously that the yogi arrives at the insight into anicca dukkha anatta. Because anicca dukkha anatta is in the nature of this process of continuous arising and disappearing. Okay? So and then atikayoti panasa satipachupatita hoti. His mindfulness is established. There is this body. This means when he note, he's mindful of all these activities. Then he sees clearly that there is only this body. That means there is just this wind element occurring due to intention. Okay, and nothing else. There's no person, no being, no self here. There is only the body. Okay, and so his mindfulness is established in this way. Only to the extent necessary for knowledge and mindfulness. Okay? So he developed this mindfulness in order to develop clear insight, clear knowledge, and to reach higher and higher stages of knowledge. Okay? Then anisito ca viharati, naca kenci loke upadiyati. He dwells independent. So independent of craving, independent of wrong views. Okay? Because of the clear insight that arises, discerning nature, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. So the mind is free from craving. So the mind does not depend on craving. So it also has right view concerning nature of nama rupa. So it doesn't depend on wrong view that there is a person. So so this means when the mind that arises, so it doesn't have any attachment towards this nama rupa process. It doesn't have any wrong view towards this nama rupa process. Okay? Compared to when you're not noting, when you're not meditating, any thought that arises is either There's some kind of attachment or there's some kind of wrong view, right? So, yeah. So we always relate to our experience with an I, right? I am walking, I am standing. There's always the implied I there. Okay? So that means at that time your mind is dependent on this wrong view. Right? But the yogi who is noting clearly, sees clearly there's no person. So it doesn't depend on wrong view. So, nacha kinchi loke upadiyati. It doesn't cling to anything in the world. In the world means the world of the five aggregates. Because mind is freed from craving, freed from wrong views. So there's no clinging to the five aggregates. Every time the mind notes, it lets go, it doesn't cling. When the insight is very strong, not only does it let go, it turns away. It turns away from the process of suffering, inclines towards cessation of this process. So when the insight is mature, then the mind will plunge into the experience of cessation of this process, experience nibbana. Okay? So, evam bhikkho bhikkhave bhikkhu kaya kaya anupasi viharati. So, in this way also, bhikkhu dwells contemplating body in the body. So this is another way that the yogi can dwell, contemplating body in the body. Another way to do kaya anupasana, contemplation of body. Okay, so we stop here today. So we have finished the section on clear comprehension. So today's talk will be the last Dhamma talk. Okay, so we have been giving this Dhamma talk continuously for the last 7 months or so. So, including the Abhidhamma class before the Vassa in Peace House. So it's time to take a long break for myself. The battery already depleted. Even without the virus also, battery already depleted. It's time to go and recharge. So, of course, we have not finished the Satipatthana Sutta yet. So, well, maybe we will continue sometime in the future if there's an opportunity. So, yeah. But from what we have covered so far, so especially from our discussion in the beginning about the purpose of the practice of Satipatthana, and also a discussion on the basic instruction of Satipatthana. So if you have been following the talk, listening to it carefully, digesting it, so by now you should already have clear idea of what this practice of Satipatthana is all about. So all you should have, because previously many yogis told me, because they listen to so many people talking about Satipatthana and I get confused. So by now you should already have a clear idea of what Satipatthana is all about. Okay? So what remains to be done is to practice. There's no point listening to all these talks on Satipatthana and then at the end of the day you don't practice. So the reason why we took this trouble to explain to you at length about the Satipatthana Sutta is to give you a proper understanding and appreciation of what this practice is all about, so that you can begin your practice with confidence. Yeah, so hopefully, so you gain some understanding about this Satipatthana Sutta. Okay, so since this is the last talk, still have some time. So if you would like to ask some question, because I've stopped you from asking question for such a long time. So you have some question you would like to ask, you may do so verbally, not through the chat room. So, but please phrase your question, ask simple question. Simple question related to the practice. Don't ask complicated, long question. You see in the suttas, when you read the sutta, people ask the Buddha's question. Do they ask very long-winded question? Usually they ask a question very short, to the point. They ask directly what they want to know. Usually, at most, I think only 2 sentences. Like, for example, this Subba Sanatodeya asked the Buddha, and say, I can't remember his exact word, and say, in life you see people who are born high, low, strong, healthy and sickly, rich and poor and so on. So what is the cause of this difference? So very simple question. Mahanama asked the Buddha, he says, Upasaka, Upasaka. They say, what is the meaning? What do you mean by Upasaka? So he asked the Buddha. Very straight question. Venerable Ananda once asked the Buddha, he says, the world, they say, what do you mean by the world? So just simple question like this. Okay? So don't have to ask long-winded question. So you can ask your question. Try to phrase your question in 2 or 3 sentences. You can. I think you can turn on your mic if you have. No question? No question, then we can wrap up already. Okay, and then if, in that case, we wrap up sharing merits. Okay. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Buddham Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Dhammam Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Sangham Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Mata Pitunam Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya Acharyanam Pujemi. Adha Imaya Patipadaya Jaram Maranamha Primocesami. Idame Punyam Asavakaya Vaham Hodu. Idame Punyam Nippanasa Pachayo Hodu. Idame Silam Magabhalanyanasa Pachayo Hodu. Imam no Punya Bhagam Sabbasatanam Dema. Imam no Punya Sabba Sadanam Dema Imam No Punya Bhagam Sabba Sadanam Dema Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. So may all of you be well, happy, and peaceful always. May you all always be healthy, be strong, be be able to practice the Dhamma continuously without any obstacle, without any trouble. And soon may all of you be able to experience the unconditioned peace of Nibbana through the practice of Dhamma.